Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Stream today. Today I want to talk about the concept of apology. Have you ever received a bad apology that made you feel worse than before or made you feel angrier? Well, for some people, sorry is not enough. Some people need different words, keywords to make them feel better. Um, there's a there's a person who's got a great framework that we can assess um, apology by. His name is Dr. Gary Chapman. And today I want to talk about his framework, right? His core belief is that we all have a primary apology language. So, what is yours? Do you know what your apology language is? Do you know what makes you accept apology from people or reject it? Let's talk about it. Let's explore a bit more. For Dr. Gary Chapman, his framework or concept is all around um, the primary words that make people feel better, accept your apology, for example, right? For him, he explains that sometimes sorry is not enough. Sometimes that if you use the wrong word, the person might think you don't care. So the person might think you don't give a damn, right? You're just saying it because you want something or you just want to achieve something. So also, it's emphasized that apology is a tool to rebuild trust, not a way to make you feel better about the situation. So there are five core apology language that we need or we use in a relationship, regardless of what type of relationship it is. It could be a relationship with someone you care about, like a boyfriend, girlfriend, partner relationship, or it could be a relationship with just someone else at work, right? There are five main basic ways that we should apologize, or we can use one of them, or we can use a mixture of them. So it's up to you, right? The first one is expressing regret. This is where you say, I am deeply sorry. So this is for you to show emotion and sorrow about what you did. So you're deeply means you're putting it in such an emotional language, right? Um, for example, you can say, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings by snapping at you last night. It was wrong of me. That is a very good way to put it. You may put it in your own language, but mean the same thing, right? It's heartfelt. What to avoid? If you can ruin a good apology by using the word but, right? So you could say, I'm sorry you put I'm sorry I'm sorry about what I did last night, but you pushed me to it. So you're making it their fault now, right? You're saying you're sorry, but it's your fault. That is not an apology in any way, shape, or form. You're basically blaming the other person for your very bad behavior. Don't go there. It's not acceptable. So that is the first one, expressing regret. The second one is accepting responsibilities. This is where you say, I was wrong. For example, owning your own mistakes without excuses or blaming others, right? So you could say, for example, you're right. I missed the deadline. I did not manage my time well, and that was my fault. I apologize for that, or something like that. It's a very good apology, right? It shows that you're taking responsibility, right? Without fault finding, without blaming the traffic, without blaming anyone else, without blaming whatever. You said it was all me, and I apologize. That is good. What you should avoid with this particular framework is um, trying not to blame the other person, because you ruin the whole apology. You ruin it. You ruin if you say it's you. If you depend on something else and say, "Oh, it was something else's fault or someone else's fault," you're making excuses. That is not an apology. The person you're talking to is going to look at you and say, this person doesn't take responsibility for anything. It's everyone's fault except you. Right? In our day-to-day life, we see people do that quite a lot. Right? It's everyone's fault and my fault. I was wrong. I wasn't wrong. I did something wrong, right? But I don't want to accept that. That is not a good way to. The third one is restitution. This is where you say, what can I do to make it right, to make it better? Right? Um, with this one, you're trying to fix a tangible damage by paying back for what you've done, right? For example, I broke your favorite mug, right? I'm going to buy you a new one today. Let me um, let me go ahead and get you something similar or something better. You know, that is good. Your intention is good, but try to avoid assuming by assuming that time fixes or whatever the physical thing you're trying to get fixes the mess that you've created, right? It's up to that person to say, yes, okay, fine, get me a new mug, something similar or whatever, a new mug. Or the person might just, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. It was an accident. People make mistakes, right? It all depends on the person accepting it. If you go and buy it and then come and say, "Oh, look, I broke your mug. I'm sorry. Here's a new one." You're not sorry because you think that you can buy, you can fix the mess you created by giving them something else. You're not apologizing. You're replacing what you just broke. Some people will look at you and think, "I don't need a new mug. I can buy myself a new mug. All I want you to do is say sorry." Right? That it's not a way to go about it. You apologize. Say, I'm going to pay for it. Is that okay? And yes, or maybe no, don't worry about it. Before, um, it can be accepted. See, apology goes both ways. You apologize by saying something that will make the other person say, okay, it's okay, accepted, or to hell with you. Why do you think you can buy my apology? So when you're trying to make restitutions, be aware. You don't want to make them feel that you're so in such a position that you can buy whatever you want, including the apology. Right? That is not an apology. That is basically saying I own you or I can own you. Avoid that. The third one is genuine repentance. Repentance just really means changing your mind, right? Um, I would try not to do it again. Right? It's a good way to say to show that you're repentant about something. Um, Focus on making a clear plan of how you wish to change your behavior. If you're talking to a partner and they're telling you that you've done something that hurt their feelings, and you apologize. I'm sorry. I'll try not to do that again. And you have to be very conscious not to do it again. If having a relationship with someone that you're intimately close to, like a partner, uh, you don't want to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. Right? They will may accept your apology the first time, but if you keep doing it, they'll be like, "Ah, she never learned anything from that situation. She didn't learn anything. So what's the point of apology? You have to show contrite, show that you are repentant by not doing what you've done before, that you obviously hurt the feeling, right? Because each time you do it, you will hurt them all over again. So try not to do it. Desist from doing that. Something, for example, I forgot to call you when I was running late. From now on, I will set an alarm on my phone so I don't forget again. That is good. That shows that you're sorry for what you've done and you try to take steps to make sure it doesn't happen again. Um, for some people, if you tell them that you're gonna make a plan or take steps to not do it again, they will be looking out for it. Each time you make the same mistakes and you don't have a game plan, right, to stop, right, you keep doing it over and over again, they'll be like, didn't learn anything. They will point it out to you, and even sometimes some people, they will try to punish you for it. Right? For example, you make a mistake. Oh, I'm going to change from now on. I know you don't like this color. I'm trying not to buy the same thing with the same color that you absolutely hate, right? And then 2 weeks later, you go out and you buy something, and it's the same color that they've rejected before, right? It showed that you never made any plan. It was all words to you. There was no repentance. There was no steps on your side to make sure that you don't go get that color that they absolutely hate. My favorite color is red, right? I love red and also love blue. If you get me yellow flowers, boy, I'm going to be looking at you like, okay, no. But I will tell you, I don't like yellow flowers. I prefer red flowers, or get me blue flowers. Right? And a month later, if you come home to me, or it's my birthday, and you come home and you give me a bunch of yellow flowers again, I'm going to be mad. I told you, that I don't like it. Why make the same mistakes over and over again? If you're going to live with a human being, you're going to find, you will find out the things they like and the things they don't. It's up to you to make a note of it and make sure you don't do it, because each time you do it, it's going to cause some sort of friction. They might forgive you the first time, but if you go ahead and do it over and over again, right, the person will think, you don't care about me. What I say don't matter, right? So there's no point going ahead with the relationship, or you don't care about me. It's all about you. You're very selfish. Things like that you want to avoid, because you just disrupt your relationship and cause a lot of drama that you don't actually need. The last one is requesting forgiveness. You know that some people find it really, really, really hard to say, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Those words are like a taboo to them. They do not want to go there at all. Now, asking someone to forgive someone, to forgive you, is equivalent. It's just equally hard for some people. For me, I'm so quick at apologizing. The kind of person I am, right? If you annoy me and I'm annoyed about something you did, I will tell you. I'm the first kind of person that I will just say it exactly, have it, we talk about it, we discuss it, and I let it go. I don't keep it in my mind and mull it over and over again. I let it go. I talk about it. Once I talk about it, it's over. And for me, I don't. It's not hard for me to say I'm sorry. As soon as I do something that's gone bad, like I've hurt your feelings, or you don't like it, or I can see that you're not impressed with it, I apologize straight away. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I always follow it up with, do you forgive me for that? Because they might not, they might accept your apology without actually forgiving you. Forgiveness is a very important thing. You have to learn to let go of things and not let them fester, because the more you think about it, the more you dissect it in your head, the more you analyze it in your head, you have like a million iterations of it, right? It begins to weigh down on you. Each time you look at that person, you think about what they did to you. So let it go. I let it go. I don't keep malice. I don't try to remind you 20 years later that, oh, look, you did this and that to me. I don't want that. I don't want that kind of drama. Well, a lot of people are not like that, right? So for some people, they want you to ask them for forgiveness, because by doing that, you're putting power back in the hands of the person you hurt, right? Waiting for them to answer. They answer for them. Some people will say, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. I forgive. It's fine. Some people don't want to go there. The word forgive is like, no for them. Forgive? For you to forgive me. Why should I ask you to forgive me for that? It's just a word, but it conveys a very strong message to the person that you're trying to get to forgive you, right? So, for example, you could say, I know I let you down. Will you please forgive me for not listening to you? Yeah. So the other person might just feel, oh, okay, I don't have to be forgiven. For some people, they'll be like, forgive you? Why do I have to forgive you? Do you know how many times I forgive you last week? I forgave you last week. How many times I let it go last week? Things like that you have to not bring into the present. What happened in the past, leave it in the past, bury it right there. Don't bring it into your future. Because the more you do that, you just make the situation escalate into something that you don't want it to, right? So with this expression, you need to avoid demanding forgiveness instantly. Do you forgive me? If the person doesn't reply, you're like, I said I'm sorry, get over it. It's up to them to forgive you, right? You have made your expression known. You have said exactly that, it's a question. Please forgive me for that. It's up to them to accept or decline it. They can say, oh, yeah, it's fine. I forgive you. Don't worry about it. Some people might say, oh, I do not forgive you. I forgave you for something you did last week, so I'm not forgive you for that. It's up to them. The power is in their hands. If someone says they do not forgive you for what you've done, now you take a step back. You don't try to force them, because the more you try to force them, the more they pull back, pull away from you, and it becomes a big issue that is totally not necessary at the point. Right? They do not forgive you. There are other ways to ask for forgiveness without actually asking for forgiveness, right? You know the things that they like, right? If you're in a relationship with them, try to show your remorse by actually doing those things. Sometimes for some people, words are just words. They don't mean anything. So whether they forgive you or not, it's up to them. But you can find other ways to get into their heart, to touch their heart and ask for forgiveness. Do little things for them. You know, relationship, what to have a successful relationship doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do big and gigantic things to win your partner over. There are some like tiny little things that look small that you can do for them that will actually help. For example, if you've messed up and you've asked for forgiveness, your partner says, "Oh, go to hell." There's things you could do. You can help with it. If she's female, you can help her with dishes, for example. You can put the laundry in the washing machine for her. You can do something around the house to help. There are little things, but they show that you are sorry for what you did. So there are many ways. My question to you is, which language do you use? Do you use any of this at all? Do you use nothing at all? Or do you not think about it at all? All of this is subconsciously. You do them even without even thinking, right? But sometimes you will not know that what you're doing has a name until you actually see something like this. And you say, oh, so this is how I express my remorse for something I've done. Or do I actually do any of this? It's up to you, right? So which one are you? Which one do you use? Right? For everybody, it could be one of them, it could be a multiple of them, it could be a combination of them, it could be a mix of them. It's up to you. But make sure that whatever you do, it comes from your heart. You're doing it from your heart, so the person can know that you're sorry for it. Because if you're nonchalant about it, the person's gonna know that you don't care. It's just words to you. So what do? Sure, you're actually sorry. Make sure you communicate to them that you're sorry. Right? Some people are they find it hard to use words. Words are difficult to come for them. It's like, oh, they don't like using words. Some people actually are very verbal. They're good with words, right? It's different for all of us. You can write it down. If you feel that you're struggling with words, you're trying to find the right words, you cannot. Right? How about writing it down? Right? Communication is important in a relationship, but it doesn't have to be all orally. It doesn't have to be verbal. It could be written down as well. You can send a text message to that person. You can send them an email. You can write words on post-it notes and put it on your fridge or something where you know they can see it. Things like that. You have to be very creative, because if you sometimes we think apology is not important, right? She's my partner. We've been together for 20 years, but that person has feelings. They've got a heart, right? And they've got emotions. And sometimes if you don't apologize, it builds and builds and builds up. And at some point, they've had it. They've had enough and they think you are absolutely selfish and you think about nobody but yourself. It's up to you. So what apology framework do you use? Do you use any at all? Nothing. Let me know. That's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for your time.